Heba here. Welcome back to episode 2 of the series. So to continue where we left off, we arrive at the timeline around 15 or 20 BC. In 12 BC precisely, 12 level avatar, a pure Taranesium soul essence, was born outside of Bethlehem in a private residence to a blue flame Melchizedek Hebrew Essene mother and blue flame Melchizedek Hebrew cloister Essene father. It was not an immaculate conception, but it was orchestrated via traditional means through a chosen couple prepared by the priests of Ur. So Jeshua's mum was Judy, and his father Jochias, and both were leaders within the blue flame Melchizedek Essene sect. The child's soul essence was born to the blue flame and was named Jeshua Melchizedek. So, where does that leave Mary and Joseph? Well, they were not the parents of this particular avatar child. They were the parents of another avatar, belongs to the 9th dimension, 9th level avatar, soon to follow. So Jeshua 12 was born to descendants of the house of Solomon, not to Mary and Joseph, and was taken in infancy into custody of the priests of Ur from inner earth for training. And by the way, allow me to explain who the priests of Ur were. Ur priests, they're indigo children, they're grey line, adepts and guardians. One of their sects or branches or groups were the Maharaji Azurite Oraphim human race line of Terra. So Terra is Earth, second density Earth. They also became the Azurite Templar security team, meaning they were the guardians of Earth's stargates. So now a group of Oraphim who were hybridized with the Azurite Yani race of Sirius B, they created the Maharaji lineage of Sirius B to begin creation of the human lineage. Okay, this is what seeding means. So it's the beginning of creation of human lineage when you bring different DNA strands, put them together, and that forms the race, basically. This hybrid race became the progenitors of the Christic Magi Indigo child grey line on Earth. And this is most of us here now. Okay, most of us here identify as indigo children. We would have connections and roots in these genetic lines, Liran, Siran A, Siran B, and Taran, in reference to Tara, of course. So we would have these codes, some or all, because we have Oraphim race codes, which Oraphim is a hybrid race from Lyra, from Sirius A, Sirius B. So Sirius A are the Anunnaki, Sirius B Azurite, Yanis, and the Palladian series. They were seeded a long time ago. The Oraphim were seeded 568 million years ago on density 3 and density 2. Okay, so that's in a nutshell the Ur race. Now, but back to the sequence of events as they unfolded. So born both of Jeshua 9, he's the one that's he's recorded in Christian texts today, okay? Not Jeshua 12 born in 12 BC. In 7 BC, Jeshua 9 was born from the Elohim. They orchestrated the birth of a 9-level avatar. He would serve to reintegrate the Templar axion sealed soul of Sirius B. Okay, the Templar axion sealed souls, tongue twister, of Sirius B back into the Sphere of Amenti. That's what he would do, and restructure. What was happening was there was a patriarchal domination, and he came to restructure the patriarchal Templar creed to be more reflective of the law of one. So he still came to do some of the Law of One work. Okay, now a lot of it was misinterpreted, twisted, and all that. But he came to do some of that Law of One work. And obviously his name was Jeshua 9, and recorded as, with Mary and Joseph as their parents. His story is what we know now as a contemporary Christian story or Christian doctrine. He was not born of immaculate conception either, but through visitation of a Nephilim who, like King Melchizedek, was part of this group race or collective called the Jehovah. So the entity Jehovah, who was one of the original contributors to the creation of the Syrian Anunnaki races in Harmonic 2. Okay, Harmonic means density, so density 2 beings. Worked with the Elohim since the time of Treaty of El Anu, 48,000 years ago. Okay, and so that was what these Nephilims were a part of the group collective or the race collective called the Jehovians. And that's how conception occurred. Jeshua's mother, Mary, was also born of ET Nephilim conception. And that's something they try to hide because they don't want us to know that the birth could be tracked back to ET roots and ET ancestry. So the whole birth of Jeshua the whole story was falsified, and it was made into an immaculate conception in order to hide the true story that there was ET behind the birth. Okay, so moving forward, so in contemporary time, in contemporary society, there are a group of souls who were commissioned by the Paladorians, by the Elohim, by the Ra Confederacy, and Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds to bring original teachings of the Templar back into civilization. Okay, and that's meant to bring the truth back, the Mahabharata texts, the Law of One, and knowledge of sacred science through which the law can be actively applied. So the Syrian Council and the Guardian Allies of Humanity continued to visit Earth over a long period of time and evolving cultures always seemed to be like a counter movement or a counterbalance to what destruction had ensued through the Anunnaki resistance and the Templar Anus that continually tried to assert their dominance on Earth. So it's like, it's always it's a case of undoing. So there's really not enough time. We weren't given a fair chance to just evolve and focus on that. It was always like undoing a mutation, undoing a distortion, undoing something. Many traditional persuasions will attempt to promote the new teachings as evil or discredit them precisely because restoration of the truth of this multidimensional reality, which these organizations have for long attempted to hide, will be the downfall of these institutions. Once humanity becomes aware of the Law of One and unity consciousness created through its practice, controlling sects and organizations will no longer be able to blindly lead the people, for the people will always choose freedom, will always choose love, equality over everything else. Okay, and this was the whole point of the evolution. The purpose of evolution is to evolve from judgment and fear and dogma and subservience and blind worship to a state of love and equity, oneness, unity, and non-duality. So now, where are we in terms of a frequency fence? In terms of our memory, as the frequency fence lifts, we are also seeing and remembering. The third DNA strand is being repaired. Sequential dream recall and memory of higher frequency bands and experiences is once again developing in the races, and experiences associated with higher dimensional strands and DNA strands, such as lucid dreaming, bilocation, simultaneous dreaming, out-of-body projection, conscious astral projection, mental bilocation, they're all emerging. They're all becoming a thing, you know. For the earlier races, like the Lemurians, they enjoyed third-dimensional experiences without having the ability to tap into fourth because of the frequency fence. So they lost dreams. They lost cognizant dreaming for a long time, and it created a sense of extreme isolation because they couldn't recall. So it's like they didn't have any knowing of what they were dreaming about, what they were seeing, if any. Okay, it's a very sad thing because it makes you feel isolated. Like when you don't have a lucid inner world, the outer world seems dull and empty and void, does it not? Yeah, so that's what happened. So the lower portions of identity from 1 to 3, what happened is they became the ego identity. And that's what we term as ego. While the higher overtones that remain connected and online became the higher self. So now we have two faculties. We have the lower self that's locked in 5 senses and dualistic thinking, and right side brain, left side brain, lower, upper, right, left, all that sort of stuff, good, bad, you know, the duality game, and the sensory experiences, everything that's tangible can be touched, anything that is not tangible can't be touched, therefore it's unreal because we don't have sensory experience of it. So that meant that we became cut off due to the ego, due to the frequency fence. So the ego relationship with the higher self and the race morphogenetic field became completely cut off. The ego therefore became isolated, lonely, self-centered. So we experienced depression, disconnection from higher self, part due to it being locked into the illusion of matter. And yeah, it's the egoistical mind actually perceives itself as limited and finite, like we're going to die and that's it. So might as well do whatever we like, even if it's bad, you know. And therefore the ego sort of took precedence over other things. The ego mind developed and perceived itself as limited and finite and became aggressive and needed to dominate other people. Some parts were left of the human anatomy that could still translate messages coming from higher strands through their connection that was still not severed to the astral. So if the person had some higher strands activated and could bridge the gap, they were able to receive input from higher strands and translate it through astral field and manifest things that way. And these are the people that most people revere, is those that have connection. Now, you know, if you can channel, if you can get downloads and things like that, then you are special, you are the chosen one. But that was natural for everybody to do before the frequency fence. Okay, before there was a seal between D2 emotional body and D3 mental body, which, by the way, the mental body became the subconscious mind with the D2 emotional body. So now we're still healing the subconscious mind. Most of the people that I help heal have subconscious unhealed patterns in their subconscious, and they don't even know it, and they don't even know where to begin to heal that, because it's a mixed jumble of things. Like there's emotional reactivity, there's responses, triggers, wounds, pains, racial memory. There's so many layers to it. So intuition was information coming through from the higher self through the subconscious mind to interpret it. And we still get that nowadays. Still is when we go to sleep during dream recall, we recall subconscious experiences, and these are often connected to intuition or something that will happen. That's complicated, because that's like when time dissolves and the soul journeys does something later on. We view it as later on, but it's at the same time, or something that had already occurred. We view it as something that in the future will happen. So there's really a dimensional blending. It's a complex thing, but all it is mutation, and we're healing that. Don't feel depressed or like we don't have hope. Don't lose hope, because the thing is, we have the freedom teachings that teach us the inner technologies to activate and to bio-regenerate. So it's actually a gift, and you're welcome to embody the gift or leave it. That's completely up to you. Everyone has free will, but I'm embodying fully. I choose to embody everything that I can in this lifetime to evolve as much as practically possible. So yeah, and I hope all of you do as well, to an extent, because we need to evolve. The worst thing, in my opinion, is to be caught up in phase locking, which is like prison. Not being able to explore other dimensions within your body, within yourself. And so now, especially through activation, inner technologies, and flame body activations, freedom teaching activations, Keylontic science, these are all programs that were brought back for the third DNA strand to begin its reverse mutation, to lift off the frequency fence. And when that happens, the perceptions and cognition of the higher self become more consciously available to the lower mind. And through this conscious connection, the ego has a chance to rediscover its multidimensional aspect of awareness. So we can discover ourselves not only on a 3D level, like the flesh, the body, the face, the skin, we can also, and the senses, but we can also evolve, expand while taking these with us. We're not, we don't want to kill the ego. We want to reintegrate the ego back. Okay. We don't want to kill anything, even if it's a mutation. We want to lift the mutation. We want to override it. We don't want to kill it. We don't want to destroy it, because it's there now. So we are reassembling. It's like if you have Lego and it's all scattered everywhere. If you want a more organized Lego that makes sense, you don't destroy some of the pieces to make sense. You bring it all back in the middle, and you try and take a mental snapshot of the whole picture and see where everything fits with everything else. Not by destroying parts of it, but by integrating the whole. So that's basically what we're doing now. Because what we aim to do is merge the higher self aspect of identity with the ego and mental awareness. So in order to comprehend ourselves as a multi-dimensional being. The higher self serves as a bridge between the identity focused in harmonic universe 1 or density 1 reality and the soul imprint of that identity, which is focused in harmonic universe 2, which is density 2. The first in integrating the ego in its multidimensional identity is to open the lines of conscious communication between ego and higher self. So it's like you're building a relationship. Say a child wants to build a relationship, a parent wants to rebuild a relationship with a child, they don't distance from the child. They try to rebuild it by allowing the child to understand why that's important, so that the ego would understand why it's isolated, depressed, anxious, lonely, sad, grieving, without the connection to the higher self, because it's a whole that we need, not parts of the whole. So that's basically a merging experience. Anyway, moving on. After the birth of Jeshua 12, Melchizedek, Jeshua, in a greater sense, and although I refrain from using the word savior in a positive sense, it was the only way to get out of a phase lock is to have an avatar, 12-dimensional avatar, being born here to bring the codes back. So in a sense, it was a savior for the race of the third seeding, us, the Aryan race. Okay, because through his birth, Jeshua 12, excuse me, the halls of Amenti could once again be reopened. And the realigned Sphere of Amenti was, if you remember, I said last time, was kept in storage in the ultra high frequency bands 2 and 3, 0 to 3, but mainly 2 and 3, under the protection of the Azarites of the Ra Confederacy. So Jeshua, at the age of 20, which would correspond with the year 8 AD, went to Persia and to India. Persia is Iran in contemporary history, and India, and was taken to Egypt also by the priests of Ur. So these, I'm guessing these tours, if you like, for him were to reawaken the I don't know, to make that link happen with the lower level chakras. And he had to be awakened on this level, on surface level earth, through the teachings. And I guess there was a great part of the teachings were in India and Persia and Egypt still, before being completely twisted. Like now, you know, most of it is twisted Merkaba mechanics, twisted ascension mechanics, or reversed ascension mechanics. It's all like to do with now hijacking a great part of the soul and the higher self and all that. But I guess back in when Jeshua 12 was here, it was a different thing altogether. So he had to go to these places and activate and remember. And when Jeshua, between 20 and 33 years of age, he and the Blue Flame Melchizedeks, the Blue Flame Melchizedeks orchestrated ascension of many race groups through the Ark of the Covenant, as his bioenergetic field could actually carry the energy fields of others through the seals on the Sphere of Amenti. That makes me really emotional, because I have no idea how I know this, but I feel like I was there. Because since I was a child, I knew the story of Jesus that we were being told was not the real story. And I never, ever believed it. Like, sometimes in front of other people, I pretended I did, because you had to fit in and everything and not look like you're crazy. But then in the depth of my soul, I knew that it wasn't the real story. I knew there was a parallel, another Jesus, another Melchizedek. Didn't know the names, obviously, but I knew there's another soul who done the good work. And I felt there was some sort of ascension process that took place. I knew about ascension since I was 11 or 12. I knew that through dream state. And that's sometimes I feel I personally may be an Indigo 1, and sometimes I feel I'm Indigo 2. I still don't know. Anywhere in between is fine with me, but it definitely did feel like it was, it was an intense period of my life that I lived. I remember bits and pieces of that. And I think I remember also, I think I've shared with you my remembrance of Atlantis. We are beginning, all of us here are beginning to remember. Most of you would be Indigos. Most of you would be 1, 2, 3 Indigos. And we're all here for the Bio-regensis. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of you were listening to this segment are Indigos. So welcome back, and thank you for coming here and being here with us on this journey of remembrance. And I haven't finished, I'm still going, but I just wanted to say that and welcome you back. Through Jeshua 12, the Hebrew races that followed the blue flame cloister Melchizedek Essenes were appointed by the Azorites of Ra to share the guardianship of the Ark of the Covenant with the Melchizedek and the Hebrew races. This has nothing to do with the distorted genetic race of the Jewish or the Kabbalah now that are causing, all these wars and stuff in the Middle East. This has nothing to do with that race, okay? It's a completely different race. Here we're referencing the Hebrew races. They are a Magi Grail line, okay, one of the original 12 tribes. In contemporary times, this is us. We are the Magi Grails. We are the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order race who have been entrusted and who carry the legacy of the original human race line with the 12 DNA strands silicate matrix within our gene codes. So we are descendants of Jeshua 12, possibly Essenes, maybe, some of us may not be. But the Jeshua 12 Essenes were a group chosen for this realignment mission, okay, to bring these teachings back, disseminate them in contemporary time. The silicate matrix appears within family lines as a recessive gene composite, which remains dormant until activation of the chakras happens. The silicate matrix is distributed at random through the present-day human genetic line, meaning it exists within every race line. Greatest concentrations are found in the following race lines: the Melchizedeks, the Hebrew, the original Hebrew, the Aryan race, the East Indian and Tibetan race lines. The training and ascension activities of Jeshua 12 and the Blue Flame Melchizedek scene still remained secretive, okay? It wasn't an overt thing, teachings. It had to be hidden because majority of the groups were still hell-bent on taking down Christics, okay, or the people, the grey line races, okay? So this is, at that point, the mystery schools evolved within Egypt, at Giza and various different locations. And not only the teachings of Jeshua 12, but Jeshua 9 teachings also became well known. The D12 teachings were a little bit more secretive. They weren't targeted as much as the Jeshua 9 teachings. Jeshua 9 teachings progressively became a target, and he was persecuted by the Romans and also within some factions of the Hebrew and the Templar Melchizedek race line, who did not accept deviations from the original patriarchal Templar creed as set within the Jewish religion of the King Melchizedek. So these also were targeted. Okay, so you can say anyone who did not accept the distorted teachings of the Templar creed of the King Melchizedek not the Melchizedek cloister groups, the Emerald Order Grey Lines, no, the King Melchizedek, they became targets. So at age 33, so from 20 to age 33, for 13 years, Jeshua 12 helped people to ascend, and at the age of 33, he ascended himself, ascended through the Giza portal, and the other Jeshua 9 was persecuted by the Romans. So now we have a 2 timeline split. We have the true Melchizedeks. Now it's us, the people who have returned for the 12 DNA strand Bio-regensis and the realignment mission, the Halls of Amenti, to bring back 12-dimensional strands and finish the work Jeshua 12 started in contemporary times. These people are the Melchizedek cloister, Emerald Order groups present on planet now. We all here are representing this group. We are orchestrators and disseminators of the truth of the Mahabharata texts that were severely distorted over time. This is how religion became corrupt, is they take pieces of the teachings, distort it, reverse it, just like they reversed the Merkaba teachings and added all these things that weren't true in order to dominate basically and reign and have full power over all the races here. And so now we have a bifurcation of time, 2 timelines split. We have the fallen Melchizedeks of the King Melchizedek, the fallen Syrian, and the Anunnaki groups, which form the resistance groups that later form the intruder resistance, made treaties with the Zetas in the last 100 years, creating false 12-strand DNA activation programs. So you can see the reversal caduceus, and if you like, you can watch the caduceus. There's a lot of information in that segment. So the teachings today are primarily geared, toward monadic reversal. You may not have heard this word before. Monad is the 8th level body that they cut us off from. So the monadic reversal is what we're trying to reverse. So we have a proper alignment with the monad. And this is my next podcast, by the way. I will bring it out, but I'm not sure when because we're still a little bit caught up. But hopefully in November. Okay, it's a very, very interesting very interesting information revolves around the monad because it's the most important stargate in our body. It's the monad. It's the 8th level body. Okay. Now, back to the reversal teachings. You only have to take a look around you, from your TV program to your harmful radiation frequencies to subliminal messaging to reversal to transhumanism to transgender agendas to bio-warfares to food chemicals to chemtrails to reverse mitochondrial viability and killing the body fast, mass mind control programs, and much more. And then we have the unsuspecting New Age, hippie, UFO movement, the channelers, the contactees. Their programs run by, so first you've got the Jehovians, who are the bipedal dolphin people. Then you have the Anunnaki, who are the fallen Syrian A, Arcturian, and Galactic Federation. Fallen, okay. And then you have the Pleiadian Nibiruan, so they're the ones that want to bring Nibiru and claim that Nibiru is the god and we all must, submit. And they're the Anu Seraphim aquatic ape hominids. Yes, collectively they're the Anunnaki draconian reptile hybrid races, and these are the resistance. They're the intruder races who we have to deal with now in order to continue our evolution. They're standing in the way. They don't want us evolving. they are examples of how our template has become hacked and primed for possession, because they propagate the false notion of channeling is higher self connection. So they want us to channel them, to open the line of communication, to allow them in with a smile on our faces, okay, and allow them in so they can take over. And yeah, the channeling movement is a very big part of this reversal agenda. It's very convincing and very therapeutic for a lot of people who still have that gap between 7 and 9 missing, because then instead of connecting to their higher parts, they're connecting to someone else's parts. And that sort of fills a void. It's like a band-aid to a wound, right? Yeah. These agendas, they're very reversed. They're reversed by design as we approaching the the stellar activation cycle was scheduled for the year 2000. So they were trying to intercept by running all these false programs. One other thing that happened as a result of the mutation is a solar cross mutation. Solar cross mutation. That's what you hear about, I believe, when you hear the story of crucifixion. So it's the cross. And they get people to do that all the time, I shouldn't do it. But yeah, that's what they get people to do all the time. This is a constant rubbing it in, like, constant reminder of how mutated we are because of all these, mutations and things and seals. So the term polarity reversal of the monad also, although I'm going to dedicate a full session on monad, I want to talk a little bit here about the monad. The monad, the reversal of the monad means unnatural alignment to the rod and staff. So when the rod and staff were charged, we had connection to monad. When they become disabled, we lost connection with the monad. It's like suffocating natural breathing cycles between you and the planet, because the 8th is the beginning of connection into the 8th body, which holds the planetary codes. So you are disconnected from that because of the reversal of the monad. Means the staff breaks off the axis from the center instead of it connecting to the center at 45-degree angles. So it just snaps. And therefore they're unable to regenerate from the Eka, from the God world. They cannot regenerate, they cannot replenish, and so they go into phase lock and they remain static, unable to regenerate. So then the Taurus field is created, which is a mutation of the monadic connection, the Taurus field, which is not good. It's, all the circular breathing and things that we do nowadays, it's connected to reversal breathing and false regeneration of our energy system, not connected to the monad, not connected to the Eka, connected to your own energy recycling itself. This is what it's about. It's phase locked. It doesn't occur at 45 degrees, which is the healthy angle. It occurs at 30 degrees, which is completely reversed. It forms something you're maybe familiar with if you've watched my other videos, called the Vesica Pisces configuration. It's the snake devouring its own tail, and it goes on and on and on and on, never ending. And so we also call this the Ouroboros. It's something that eats from itself to sustain itself. So there's never any evolution and growth from that. It also forms the solar cross, which formed because of the reversal and break of the staff axis. And yeah, like I said, this is the mockery. It comes from that. It's a mockery. The crucifixion, it's a mockery. It's actually an energy sucking mechanism. Every time we do the cross, let alone wearing the cross. It's like a constant, it's coding that into your body, It's built on reversal. It's antichristic. It's the beginning of formation of a 55 Merkaba, not the healthy 45, but the 55 Merkaba that sucks energy out of the system that it attaches to. Like I said, it can't circulate perpetual life force from source, so they have to rely on an artificial system. It's generated and not generated, it's sustained by the Shauna dead light, which is a distortion field, a refraction of light field. So that's why our crystal bodies can't breathe. This is the result of monadic reversal and unnatural alignment of the rod and staff, literally suffocating us. And now, something that I've talked about immensely is the Kabbalistic tree of life, tree of death. Sorry, can't help it sometimes. So the Kabbalah tree of life is locked into an unnatural phase lock configuration. It's the worst implant ever, in my opinion, after the Caduceus. And actually, they go hand in hand. Kabbalistic tree of life, Caduceus, they go hand in hand. And so, the Kabbalah tree, it stands between the natural ethos, etheric partike, the physical, and between it's and the particum. So it's stands between the divine masculine and divine feminine. It's a separation programming. It stands between the natural meridians that come from the ethos and the natural axioms that come from density currents here. So it's a separating mechanism. They follow the grids, yes. So if you look at it and you go, okay, there's the grids, there's the axiom lines. They look pretty identical. So I learned that in yoga too. We have the nadis in the body, and you look at it and you think, okay, this is something I'm going to teach. I'm amazed by this information. The problem is they're running on reversal Shauna dead light, not Shalaya light, not connected to Eka worlds, not connected to the core, not connected to the monad. They're connected to an artificial light system. So they do run light, yes, and people go into like spontaneous awakenings and, oh my God, I see light. It's all light. It's like, okay, what color light? It's like white and these different colors, and it's Shauna refraction light. It's not the eternal light. These refractions are not the real thing, so they reduce us to third dimensional beings, and only third dimensional beings. So 1/3 of our consciousness, meant to be embodying now, is actually growing and evolving, and the rest is phase locked. And when we are recycling our own energy over and over and over, our heart rate is moving faster. And because of flight and fight and our sense of security that wants to ensure that we have enough and we can survive, we are in panic mode. We're always in flight and fight, meaning we're breathing faster, meaning we'll die sooner. And because we are recycling our own breath over and over, means our body's going to undergo molecular compaction before we know it, and we will die sooner. And this is why we die very quickly. And every year, the median life on this planet is changing. It's getting shorter. So, yeah, with given all the reversals, a plan to restore angelic human potential and permanent eternal seed atom is important, is essential. This has to be done in a very systematic way so it doesn't lead to overstimulation or exhaustion. I can tell you that overstimulation, activating too fast, is super exhausting. I've had weeks, months even, where I've not been able to do anything, just complete exhaustion from realigning, from doing the right thing, from getting my body to realign back into its original organic template, because there's too many reversals running through it. So this is why the activations given by the Freedom Teachings paradigm strongly recommend sequential activation of the template, starting with flame body, moving through other levels, like crystal body, and then so on and so forth. It's a personal thing because some people have less spark than others left. For instance, for someone who has 31 to 33% divine blueprint left in their body, when these downpouring frequencies hit, which they are hitting now, we're getting help from other ecosystems. And when these frequencies are hitting the template with a very low blueprint, a divine blueprint left, they are not able to wake up or activate quickly and become enlightened. No, they will go into more reversal because they can't integrate it. And then they have all this energy running through all at the same time, and they're going crazy, actually, literally crazy. It actually leads to seed atom spin reversal, then monadic reversal. So the body doesn't activate the divine spark, but actually runs more of the blue sword frequencies in the body because it follows the sextant time clock timeline, or the 666 timeline. So a lot of people I'm seeing now is, and this is not judgment, this is just an observation, many of whom I hope that they will actually ask and come for help, because we can help them. Since we're indigos holding the shield, we can help so many people, but they have to be willing to help themselves. And what I'm observing with the ones that don't want to help themselves, don't even believe in any of this, which is fine, but it's just sad to watch, because really what's happening is they're running on super high energy, super high. What's happening is they're getting those downpouring frequencies hitting their body, right? And then it's dissipating through the body, and it's giving that false sense of heightened energy when all it is just a buzz. And whereas for us, we're doing the techniques properly and everything. So each little bit of energy that's downpouring and hitting our template, we're keeping it in the buffer zone and slowly integrating it, or fast. I tried that. Don't recommend it. Slow is good. Slow is better. And it's exhausting the template. So we look like we're less energized, and they look more energized, and it's like, it's not fair. We're doing, it is fair, but it's we're doing the work and we're still tired all the time. But that's what it is. It's because we're integrating, and they're not. They're deflecting that energy off. So yeah, all of us are doing actually the work of the Healing Regenesis mission. We, by activating our 45-degree Merkaba and anchoring the Christos seed atom, we're helping not just the grids, but everyone who is receptive to this upgrade. We will activate the monadic clock and bring in the Eros spark into the planetary grids and our bodies. What we are now connected to is false Shauna dead light, and we're thinking, okay, we're running organic currents, but they're all reversal, connected to the sextant clock, the 666 timeline. The spin of the seed atom reverses spin. When it reverses spin, it's called monadic reversal. And under natural conditions, the staff breaks between D11 and D12, rotates to the sides, okay? So it's not vertical, it rotates to the sides like this, it splits. They both end up being, the two parts of the staff end up, and the rod, I think, and yeah, staff and rod, they become like free radicals just running amok and not having any purpose. And then they continue spinning with whichever energy running at the time. And usually it's the Shauna, light field, Metatronic and all that. Under natural causes, the Merkaba becomes antichristic spin, and will continue to spin and spin and spin and spin until it's got no energy left. Then it makes it compact, and the manifestation field pop out, and certain point the seed atom stops, and all units release into space dust. And this is what happens to a body that has got too much reversals. The staff breaks off, becomes like free radicals, it's static, it keeps spinning and spinning and spinning until it runs out of energy, it compacts, and it goes into space dust. In conclusion, why are we here? We're here to restore monadic connection. Monad is very important for the activation of the flame body. And so we're here to restore the natural Christic Merkaba, 33 1/3 top spiral, 11 2/3 bottom spiral, top spiral masculine clockwise, the lower ones feminine anti-clockwise. This is the natural Merkaba of a Christic spiral. It runs at a spinning speed of 45 rotations per nanosecond, and it's a perpetual generator of living spark. Now, the transition from Dark Ages to New Age Enlightenment began with the Amenti mission. So back to Amenti mission. It's not only a micro event, a personal level event where one person or a small race gets to ascend, but it's actually a macrocosmic planetary event that was meant to alter the architecture of everything that's ever existed. The monad is the spark that enables us to function as eternal life form, and it's being reset. It was reset in the years 2010 to 2009 or 10 or 12. So we have the monads being reset, 12D energies running now and anchored into Earth's grids. And these new set of instructions are running through planetary grid, causing the mass consciousness awakening event. This is why people are waking up, not because someone told them to wake up or they watched a movie or, they were inspired. It's because something subconsciously is taking place in their DNA. There is a process of natural remembrance happening because they were once part of something, part of a race memory, part of a shield, somewhere in the time and space that we also resided in. So we're all connected to everything else that's happening. If we wake up, part of them will wake up too, because we're connected. It's the energy nets that holds us all together and binds us together. So it's also running through the energy grids, through the planet grids and the planet architecture. And so everyone will wake up. Not everyone, but a lot of people will wake up. Some will wake up a little bit late and realize they're in a black hole system, but that means they have another path of evolution, and that's okay. It's, we lived, you can say, the fall, and we survived, and we're here, and we're, back to our Bio-regensis. There's always programs for people to realign. It's never lacking. It's never a unmerciful system. It's always merciful. It's always honest free will, and it's always based on the law of one and unity. Everyone gets an equal chance. Everyone gets the message. So the planetary architecture of the cosmic clock is secured by the Palladorian and crystalline star guardians. They're working on restoring the natural law of one via the crystallar coding connected through the God realm. So we have something called diamond sun alignment. It's running the Christic energies and codes while at the same time dismantling artificial intelligence technology. Okay, because these are the people that are trying to create the gloom and doom, beast machines, 666. They're Armageddon software. They're running destruction programs right now. So we have these sun codes, diamond sun codes, which are like advanced DNA templates that are really recalibrating everything. This is a bifurcation timeline, so we see people that are reversing while other people are advancing. It's happening at the same time, in the same place, but maybe not perceived directly by one group or another. Anyway, that's just all in the same place. The bifurcation timeline will continue in the near future and distant future. It's altering the way races were seeded here because so much chaos took place, warring, duality, conflict. And the way forward is through unity, through at-one-ment, through personal responsibility, and through bio-regensis, essentially. Okay? So, and on a last note, I'll just add the following. There are people who are following the negative timelines. They're participating in these duality games. They're lacking personal accountability. They're blaming. Blaming is absolutely destructive for the Christic template because there is no growth in blaming. Blaming is like saying, okay, I have no part in any of this. And while you consciously may not, subconsciously, we're all a part of what manifests in the collective consciousness and unconscious. We all are made this fabric of creation. We all are a part of it. Okay, and so personal accountability doesn't have to be like I'm feeling guilty and bad and I'm just going to harm myself and stuff like that. It's not about that. It's about taking accountability to heal at least. And now that we have the mechanics of creation, mechanics of healing, we can embody these. We can choose to embody these or not. Okay. Those who choose to embody, they are choosing the positive polarity or the transcendence program. They will continue to ascend naturally through laws of physics and balance their karma and ascend on the crystal spiral. Okay, that's a given. That's how the laws of the universe work, cause and effect. And we are called to come together to make this possible, not just for us, but for planet, for the people who still have that positive seed, even if they're asleep, even if they're half asleep. We are being called to wake up the indigos and the sleeping humans. And we are honored to be called to be doing this work. Bit by bit, each of us contributes a piece of the puzzle. And that's a beautiful thing to be a part of, is it not? It's, I see it as a privilege. And one last thing I want to mention is that monad's very important for activation of the flame body. And remember that we must at least realign with the monadic, restore the monadic connection, at least. This will give us freedom. This will manifest as co-creative abilities, because the more connected to the monad, the more we want to go out and see life from the lens of unity rather than division, co-creation, unity. Power struggles will end. Like, imagine if everyone wanted to connect to their monad, then we all end our power struggles. They've divided us, they've divided society for so long. And so we want to dissolve that system by building a new system, not by fighting the old. And this is how peace will prevail and return to the races of the third seedings, to us. Together we can help restore these, our shared sense of purpose, and reclaim that one place we love within this grand divine design. Okay, and I end my talk here. I hope you enjoyed this segment and the first, and next I will come back with a deeper exploration of the monad, and we'll put up the manifestation technique on our website. Stay tuned, stay connected with yourself and with us and the community, and stay awake and able. Omni love.
Trust that a profound transformation is underway. As your thoughts and emotions realign, your energy and frequency naturally adapt and harmonize in response. As you breathe in and out, declare, I choose to live by the universal law of one.